Hello everyone and welcome to this module. In this module we'll be discussing about a very important and very powerful tool, that is selection statement. Now selection statements are the statements which are used to choose a particular path of code based on the outcome of a condition. So I'll explain you by giving a real-time example. Let's suppose that you want to withdraw money from ATM machine. So now you enter an amount that you want to withdraw. If the amount is less than your balance, the balance in your account, then you can take money. But if the amount entered by you is greater than the balance in your account, the machine will show that it is an invalid input. So the action here is getting money, and that depends on a certain condition that the amount you enter is greater than or less than balance. So this is the use of selection statements. Now there are two types of selection statements. Sorry, the first one is if else. So I'll explain you with code. Now the syntax for if else is we have to write if, then in the parenthesis we have to give condition, then we have to give the statement. For if it is true, then this statement is performed, else if it is false, then this statement is performed. So suppose that you have multiple statements, so you have to include this in brackets. For example, you have another statement here, then you have to include it in curly braces, otherwise only the first statement will be printed. If you don't give curly braces here, then only the first statement will be printed if the condition is true. Okay, so I've given an example here. I'll just erase this. I have declared a variable called percentage, and then I have given an if condition that if percentage is greater than 50, then print pass, otherwise print fail. So if I give percentage as 80, now it will check the condition. Since 80 is greater than 50, the true part, that is the if part, this will be executed. So when I run this, it will show me pass. Now suppose if I put percentage as 30, so now this, since this condition is false, so the else part will be executed, so it will show fail. Now the condition inside a statement, inside the if parenthesis, can be there can be only one condition, or we can have multiple condition. For example, I can give another condition here that if the percentage is greater than 50 and the percentage is less than 60, then print just pass. So now suppose if I give 55, so now when I run this, it will check both the condition. The first condition is this and the second condition is this. Now this operator is called as AND operator, and as you have learned in like digital electronics, maybe you have learned it, that AND, the function of AND is if the two conditions give us true, that is true and true always gives us true, and if any one of the two condition is false, then the result is false. So since I've given 55 here, since 55 is greater than 50 and 55 is less than 60, so this whole statement become true because this is true and this is true. So when I run this, now this line is executed. But suppose I give this as 80. Now since it is greater than 50, so this is true, but 80 is not less than 60, so this is false. So true and false gives the whole statement as false, so the else part will be executed. So it shows me fail. It is not possible to score 80 percentage and you are fail, so let's just ignore that here. Then in if else we have another thing called nested if, that is we can put if inside if. For example, I write if percentage is greater than 50, I'm printing this code, so I can give another condition inside it, like if let's say percentage is greater than 80, then I'll print that you are pass with distinction, and else I'll print that you are just pass, something like that. Okay. So now when I execute this code, what will happen is, since I've given it the value of percentage as 80, so first this condition is checked. Now since 80 is greater than 50, now when we move to this statement, since percentage is 80 and it is not greater than 80, so the else part is executed. So it is showing just pass. Now suppose if I give this as 90, so since this statement is true, so this part is executed. Now when we move to this condition, since 90 is again greater than 80, so this line is executed and this is bypassed. So it will show me pass with distinction. Now we have another concept in IfElse, that is we can form a ladder of IfElse condition. Now what exactly is ladder? I'll show you with code itself. So basically I'll give multiple conditions. So I'm writing if percentage is greater than 50, then system, and I'll print just pass, or I'll write it 80. I'll write here as pass with distinction. Then again I'll give another condition, that is else. I'll write else if, and again I can give another condition. So I'll write percentage is greater than 60. So I'll print and I'll print inside this just pass. I forgot to put a semicolon here. So now what we have done is we have basically entered multiple conditions. So what compiler will do is, first it will check this condition, and if this is not true, then we move on to this condition. If this is not true, then finally the else part is executed. We can have multiple else if, like I can add another else if here. Again I can add else if and I can write some other condition, but for now let's check for this condition. So now I've given percentage as 90. So since this condition is true, so this line is executed. So it shows me PWD. Now suppose if I put it as 70. Now the first condition is checked. Since 70 is not greater than 80, so we move on to the next condition. Now 70 is greater than 60, so this line will be executed and rest of the program will be bypassed. So it will show me JP. So this was the concept of if else. Now let's move to another selection statement. So let's move on to switch. The syntax for switch is switch, then we write an expression, and then we, in the curly braces, we give different cases. Now it is quite similar to if else. How it works is that suppose we give an expression and the value of expression is checked with the value of the cases. So whichever value matches, that case is performed. I'll tell you with example. It is better to explain with example. So I've used a switch case here. I've put I inside the expression and then I've made multiple cases. So if I give I equal to 1, so the value of this expression becomes 1. Now all the values of cases are matched with this value, and whichever value matches, that case is performed. So right now I've given I as 1, so case 1 will be performed. Now if I execute it, you can see that 1 is printed. Now suppose if I give I as 3, now when I execute this, the value of this expression is 3 right now. So it will check first with the first case, since it is 1 and it does not match with 3, so this is not executed. Then it moves to 2, since 2 is not equal to 3, so this is also not executed. Then it moves to 3, then 3 is equal to 3, so this case is performed. So when I run this, it shows me that since in this case we are printing 3, so it has print 3. Now suppose if I give any other value which is not there in the case, so 8 doesn't match with 1, 2 or 3, so we have a default statement. So if it doesn't match with any, then the default statement is executed. So this will get wrong input. So one thing to keep in mind here is that this doesn't need to be an integer always. We can keep this as string. Suppose I can uh, I can take, just I'm giving an example. I can take an input, suppose ch here, and I'll write it as ch. I'll put ch as string, and suppose I'm making a calculator, so I'll ask the user to input either add or subtract, and if the user put ch value as add, then this case will be executed, and if it put subtract, then this case will be executed. So this is how switch case works, and in the next module we'll talk about loops. So till then, thank you and bye.